it can change your motor output, and of course, it can also change pain. Being in recovery and being in this journey for a long time, I realize how important thoughts and thinking are. I always underscored the importance of thoughts and the importance of thinking and cognitions when it comes to the pain experience. Thoughts are nerve impulses too. The causes of our pain often hide in very hard to find places. So this is where my weird little habit comes in that has really helped me. So this is a novel thing that I've done for a long time and ultimately changed my experience of pain. My weird habit is that for the last 3 years, hey guys, it's really nice to see all of you again. I hope that you are having a good week and that everything has been going well so far. I know that in terms of chronic pain, I know we've all been on a really difficult journey, and I know some of us are still going through some really challenging times. And I commend you all for being here and for engaging with this new information and trying to better yourself and better your experience. So I'm really excited to be here with you guys today. I'm going to share with you a really interesting or perhaps even strange, weird habit that I've adopted over a long period of time that has really helped me with my pain. And I'm hoping it's going to help you guys with your pain too. So before I studied pain science and before I made this my career, I always underscored the importance of thoughts and the importance of thinking and cognitions when it comes to the pain experience. So thoughts are actually so important when it comes to pain, and thoughts and beliefs and what you think is very important information that your brain evaluates before it decides whether or not to produce a pain experience. And there's robust or very strong scientific evidence that has shown that the way we think and our beliefs, they can impact various different biological systems outside of our consciousness. So even manipulating or changing the way that you think can change, your blood flow. It can change certain immune system markers that are found in your blood. It can change your motor output. And of course, it can also change pain. So the way we think is very important. And actually, thoughts are nerve impulses too. So just like a nerve impulse comes from a bodily tissue, nerve impulses are also the substrate of thoughts. And they are no less important than, an impulse coming from your tissue. So like I said, before I engaged on this journey, if someone had told me that a thought was that important, I probably wouldn't have taken that seriously. But now, being in recovery and being in this journey for a long time, I realize how important thoughts and thinking are. So this is where my weird little habit comes in that has really helped me. And before I continue with this, let me just tell you that I got a lot of inspiration from two very reputable pain scientists. The first one is called Lorimer Moseley, and the second one is called David Butler. So I've adapted a lot of their material and used a lot of their material directly. So let me not steal any of their material without giving credibility where it's due. So you can find a lot of this information in their book called Explain Pain, which just helped me a lot and can perhaps help you too. So my weird habit is that for the last 3 years, I've carried a number of small cards with me in my pocket wherever I go. So every day I make a couple of new cards, or whenever I've got some time. And these cards go with me wherever I go. So if I'm in the bathroom, I take out a card and I quickly look at the thought or the concept written on it. Or if I'm in an elevator, I quickly take out my card, that card for the day, and I have a look. Or maybe I'm waiting for a taxi. And gradually, after looking at these cards over and over, I've recycled them, and there's some that I don't look at anymore. But I've managed to reinforce certain concepts into my head and change my way of thinking, and ultimately change my experience of pain. So this is a novel thing that I've done for a long time, but I thought I would just share with you a couple of cards that I've written and give you an idea of what I write on these cards. And I hope I can also convey the power in these cards and the power in thoughts, and the power in language, and the power in metaphor, and the power in the way we think. So let's go. First one that I've written is what I explained to you earlier. Thoughts and beliefs are nerve impulses too. So just like a nerve impulse from your tissues releases juice at the end of a neuron that goes to another neuron past a synapse, your thoughts do the exact same thing. So thoughts are so important. They are as important as any impulse coming from your tissues. Okay. So next one that I really like, I've written here, brains can make you hurt anywhere. Brains can make you hurt anywhere. And I love this card because this for me reinforces the fact that pain is not an input. Pain is an output. Pain is something that is constructed at a higher level, and it's constructed using so much information and so many different cues by our brain. And just realizing that pain is something that is constructed by the brain or constructed at a higher level, supraspinal level, that makes me realize that highlights the disconnect between pain and tissue damage, which is very empowering. The next one, and this one is really old because I've taken it with me to gym. It's been stuck in my pocket. It's gotten sweat over it. So I think this one's probably a couple of years old. I haven't looked at it in a while, but it still holds so much value to me. This one says, all of your systems are very adaptable. The more you practice, the better you'll become. This for me highlights our innate bioplasticity. It highlights how beautiful, wonderful, and adaptable we are. And if we've been experiencing pain for a long time, if that same song has been playing over and over and over again, our brain is just being really protective. But we're adaptable and we're amazing and we have the ability to change this. I'll just read you a couple more. The next one is, it might not pertain to you, but it certainly pertains to me. I discovered on my journey that my pain, a lot of the time, resulted from me people-pleasing and being very much inauthentic in my life. So on this card, I've just written, be authentic. And I actually realized I've struggled a lot with chest pain, and I realized that my chest pain was actually a direct measure of my level of authenticity in any moment. So if I was at work and I was people-pleasing and I wasn't being who I am at my core, my pain really started to get worse. Authenticity might not be a problem for you, but it certainly was for me. And it highlighted for me that, the causes of our pain often hide in very hard to find places. But if you have the courage and the perseverance to look, you can definitely work it out. So I've worked on being more authentic in my life, and it's had a really great impact on my pain experience. I also didn't really like my body. I went through a certain period or a stage where I didn't like my body. It wasn't perfectly symmetrical. As I'm sure you're aware, nobody's body is perfectly symmetrical. Actually, nobody's feet are even the exact same size. How interesting is that? But our imperfections are actually where our beauty lies. And I think I needed to learn to accept that. And asymmetries are definitely not the causes of pain, which I think at some stage I even thought the differences between my two knees were a cause of my pain. So on this lovely card over here, I've written, we grow like trees. Left and right differences are quite normal. We grow like trees, never the same left and right, adapting to the seasons and the weather. This really made me appreciate all my imperfections. Just like that ancient oak tree or that beautiful wisteria, they have knots, they are twisted in some ways, but they are still exquisitely beautiful, and so are we. And we are not meant to grow perfectly. We grow like trees, and this really highlights that for me. I really love that. What else do I have for you guys here? This one I've always really liked. Movement is so important when it comes to pain. So this one here says, when I exercise, it feels like everything runs like a well-oiled machine. So this is really great for getting us to exercise more and also reducing the fear associated with movement, because I know all of us, with whatever movement you used to do before you were in pain, I know we fear it. So realizing that movement is actually so important can be really, really empowering. Okay, let me read you 2 more. So the next one says, plasticize me. And this was actually directly taken from the Explain Pain book I told you about. You are an amazing bioplastic machine on a journey to change your system. For me, this just highlights the idea that we are these amazing, beautiful, adaptable beings that have new connections in our brains being created all the time, old ones being disbanded at a rapid rate. We have so much potential for change. We are bioplastic. We can create new pathways in our brains, new ways of thinking, and new ways of being. So the next one, if you think about it, graded exposure to activity is really just about playing with the aching parts in different ways and different contexts. So on your chronic pain journey, whatever part of your body has been in a lot of pain, whatever part has been really struggling. I know for me, it was my chest at one point. It's been my knee. It's been my elbow. But graded exposure or moving into exercise or gradually getting back movement is just a way of playing with all of those parts that have been really sore in the past, playing with them, telling them it's safe, showing them a new way of doing things, gradually changing your system. I've got so many of these, and this might not work for you, but this certainly worked for me, realizing that, the way we think is so powerful, and reminding ourselves of these small little things, these small ideas, these new concepts are really empowering. I know some other ones that are really easy to remember that I've always used. We've highlighted before in our talks the disconnect between pain and tissue damage. So for me, another 2 metaphors could be sore but safe, or hurt doesn't equal harm. And we've touched on the importance of exercise and movement and how good it is for us. So a couple of metaphors that I've written on these cards for that are motion is lotion, movement is medicine. So all of these things can be so helpful and so empowering. So in the comments, I'd love to hear from you guys. Are there any thoughts, ideas, beliefs, cognitions, anything like that that's really helped you on your pain journey? Perhaps you can help other people just by sharing those in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. We all have something so valuable to add, and I'm so glad that we can be on this together and just help each other through everything. If you have any questions, please get in touch. You can leave a message on the comments, or you can get hold of me via my website, reframepain.org. I'm always here to listen and always here to help, and I look forward to chatting with you guys again soon. Cheers.